Hey everyone, and welcome to our 17th episode of Brew Talk with Mr.Beer. My name is Robert Lewis, your host for today's show. We got Zach back for a week. I know it's been a while, but we got him back on. We got him here. Thanks for tuning in to watch us today. We appreciate you joining the show. We got a great topic, but before we dive into it, let's talk about what we're drinking today because it's an interesting creation. CT Crunch.
Yes.
What is it?
Cinnamon beer in the cereal vein of trying to make something wacky and different. I used half a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch to make this concoction, and one of our kits, the American Lager, as the base. So it's got a little bit of a Sam Adams Boston Lager taste, but it's got cinnamon shining through.
It's crazy.
It's wacky.
Crazy. So what we're going to do is we won't put this on the website. If you join our Facebook group or you're part of our Facebook group, Zach's going to post a recipe in there, just a brief overview of how to brew it with the cereal. Obviously, brewing with cereal is different than just brewing regularly. Put that away if you want to brew it up on your own. You can spice it together, and also there's another plus of joining our Facebook group. All right, so let's dive into today's topic, is yeast. So we thought this would be a good place to start a new series about yeast. They can do a ton of different things, a ton of different styles, a ton of varieties. It can change your beer all kinds of different ways. So we wanted to just dive into the topic a little bit. So today we're going to be starting off our yeast series. It's going to be kind of pretty basic to cover just the basic aspects, and we'll dive into knowledge as we keep moving forwards with this. So we'll kind of just do a brief overview, and Zach is our resident just brewing expert in general, so we thought we'd bring him in for some yeast conversations. So what are the different types of yeast that are out there?
Well, basically what we're doing today is just the difference between sort of the liquid and the dry. And the liquid comes pre-packed, basically ready to go. It usually has one step before it's ready to use, whereas the dry, you can sprinkle or rehydrate. But those are the two styles we're focused on today.
And that's all pretty much that brewers use in general is liquid and dry yeast, depending on what you're brewing. So what are some of the kind of benefits and downsides to using a liquid yeast?
Liquid yeast benefits are definitely speed. They come basically energized and ready to go, whereas the dry you can store a lot longer. That being said, the liquid has a lot of temperamental qualities, so to speak.
Yeah.
They're sensitive to temperature and their time. You have to use them within 3 months or they're smoked.
Yeah, and then I think that's one of the reasons why we always have why we don't carry them is just we ship everyone products. And if you're not going to get that yeast from out of your doorstep in a half hour, it's going to be toast.
Yeah.
Can't even use it. So it's very tricky to do that. Not a lot of people do that. Usually find it at your local homebrew shop.
Yeah. Definitely go local if you want to do
liquid yeast. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. So what are some of the benefits of using a dry yeast when brewing?
Well, the dry yeast is real resilient to storage and temperature changes to a point. It's far more resilient than the liquid, at least. But the downside is it's not as robust at first. A lot of liquid yeasts will take off a lot quicker, maybe finish a bit quicker, but the dry, without proper care, will be a little bit slower. But for what we do, it's pretty perfect.
Yeah, it works well. So is there one that you prefer over another when you're brewing a certain type of beer or something like that?
I guess that kind of gets into another discussion about the yeast types, or the styles of yeast rather than the types. But for here, we have a good stock of dry yeast and a lot of different varieties, so I just stick with that, and it keeps things simple.
Yeah, I think everything that you've brewed here has been with dried yeast.
Yes.
They're all great beers, so you don't need liquid yeast. So let's talk about some of the different characteristics and flavors that you can kind of get from the yeast. I know this can be a very deep topic, but let's cover basically the broadness. We can dive into strains, different later.
Sure. Yeah, your basic strains are just going to have like cleaner finishes versus fruitier finishes. So if you're looking at the strains of yeast, you'd be focused mostly on lager, ale, and then the funky stuff like saisons or wheat beers. Those are pretty much the main categories. There's a ton more, but
those cover the general bases. So when you're brewing up something new and creating a new recipe, how do you decide what yeast to use? Like, how do you pick the yeast to use in this?
It kind of comes down to what I want the overall finish to be. Like, I wanted the cereal to come through more than anything else, but I wanted sort of a malty backbone. So I'll go with something that helps promote that maltiness. And all the dry yeast, if you go to the manufacturer's websites, will tell you what flavor profiles can be. So you can pick what you want your finished product to be by looking at the flavor profiles the manufacturers recommend. And then, of course, half the fun is playing with that and seeing what happens when you mix something into something else that
Well, even because you could brew like the same base but use different yeast and get a totally different result.
Absolutely. It's crazy.
It's wild. That's wild. Okay, so that's going to wrap up today. Short and sweet. We will be diving into this more in depth in the coming weeks. Have a lot more knowledge and stuff about just yeast because it's a lot of things that you can go down. And so we wanted to cover all the bases, and then basically, basically each one of these topics can be a huge talking point about different things, really help you select the right yeast and want to change up some styles in your brews and stuff like that. So we appreciate you joining us today. We do post our videos on our blog page, mrbeer.com/blog. We have the written transcripts there as well. You can see them on our YouTube page and obviously on our Facebook page. We're posting them on Instagram as well as part of our Instagram stories or Instagram videos. Sorry. If you enjoyed the video, if you just please give us a thumbs up or share it so we know that to keep making these and that you appreciate watching them, joining them, learning something. We're trying to make it fun for you guys. And also, if you want to learn more about Mr. Beer, brewing in general, or get this recipe, join Mr. Beer's Brewing Society as our Facebook group. Go to the search bar on Facebook, search Mr. Beer's Brewing Society, or go to our Facebook page, go on the group, just click join. We just ask that you answer 3 questions and we'll let you in.
Yep.
Zach's in there, I'm in there, Ashley's in there a lot. It's a great fun group of guys and ladies. There's a ton of people in there. It's nuts.
It's a good group.
Yeah, I see everyone's pictures, sharing ideas, recipes. It's a cool thing to pick up cool tips. That's going to cover it today. We appreciate you guys joining us. We'll see you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.